Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a great morning and a great trading session so far. The market has just opened up. We do have a 9 a.m. medium impact news and 9:30 low impact news. So that is something to look out for. And I just realized I never changed my overnight levels, so I'm going to do that really quick. All right. So it looks like we just changed to a downtrend about 2 minutes ago. What it is, what it ain't. Good morning, Applejacks. How are you this morning? Oh, that's better. I did notice that Monday we were in an uptrend the whole hour and 15-minute session. Yesterday we were in a downtrend the entire 15-minute session. So hopefully today we have a little bit more of a changing of directions, because that's usually how I can tell when there's at least a little bit of volatility. When we stay in the same trend the entire session, it's usually pretty choppy. Good morning, Amelia. How are you this morning? Meetings and I'm hungry. Typical, just a typical Applejacks kind of day. Oh shoot, this is a 1-bar pullback up here. What is this? 251. Oh. I will say the value area is quite large compared to Monday and Tuesday, so maybe we'll get a little bit more volatility. Maybe, just maybe. Colors my line currently white. Okay. right, we'll just push through the current open and prior close. Good morning, Pred. How are you this morning? Trading View Sinks, what Trading View doing to you? Is it glitching today? Push. I don't think I would have gotten filled anyway. Probably not. I didn't want to get into the buy with support levels that close. But that would have been a setup that I would normally take. It's loading so slow. Not it loads like a great grandma getting through Walmart. Does it always do that, or has just been doing it recently? Because daily levels definitely shouldn't have an issue, and really session level indicators shouldn't either. Want us to break away from some of these levels, honestly. This week has been on my damn nerve. I haven't been in any discourse to be able to see if I've seen other people complaining too. Oh, not what I'm looking for. You're also hangry. So does that mean you could possibly be overreacting on TradingView just a little bit? You know what, Amelia? You're correct. Applejacks, it could be some of the crazy things that you do on that phone of yours. Open. All right, I'm gonna wait for the next pullback. Right now, I don't really like the first divergence that's after a 1 bar pullback. It's burning up. I'm a model citizen. It's ridiculously slow. I'm at home on my laptop today. Says all systems are operational and healthy. But we know how that is. Oh, we had a little volume spike right there. So I'm like, how did we get down here? Like a spell. Come on. 1309. All right, I am going to be multiplying my contracts on the account that renews on Saturday. We're going to do 5 contracts. I only have 1,200 something drawdown left in it. If it fails, we're good. But if we can get some decent movement, it would be nice. It would be nice. It might be the indicator themselves. Gonna put the order in, but okay, we're good. No, we're not good. You don't want to go down? Oh, no, that was right. I thought I did something wrong initially, but I didn't. I did not. All right, point of control is here. Yeah, because there's VWAP right there. So yeah, no, I didn't do anything wrong. don't stop me out to go to my TP though. This is what I've been battling with. If I want to open up my stop loss a little bit, I would technically still be in the trade. I've been thinking about opening it up to about halfway through the wick of the entry bar. But even then, I think, let's see. There's a TP. You funky bitch. Let's see. That's very annoying. Very annoying. 2000. Oh my goodness. How annoying. How annoying. If you do well, will you add to your take profit? Probably not. Only because it seems as though these I might try it, or I might just do something where like I add to the take profit, but I allow the auto break even to still be what it is to make sure that it doesn't come back and hit my stop loss kind of thing. Cause yeah, I don't want to have a super negative risk to reward ratio. That's like my number one no. So yeah, it just kind of depends, honestly. But that's kind of annoying. Not gonna lie. Pretty fucking annoying. I don't even know if, let's see, because it would have to be, let's see, 10 ticks open. What is 10 ticks? 2.5 points. So a high of 7 right there. So it would have worked out because this only went about 6 ticks up. So I don't know. I have been tracking on my analysis sheet, like if it's a loss like that, I highlight it. I highlight the loss on my analysis sheet and I'll put like how many ticks it went beyond the close of the bar. Because that is something that I'm trying to figure out. So yeah, I'm definitely in the process of trying to work out the kinks for that. So like I'll put L, I'll highlight it, and then I'll put like for that, for instance, I'll put -6 ticks because I think that's what it was. So I'll just put -6 T next to it. And that way, if I see that there's a line item that works really well, you know, like has way more wins than losses, but some of the losses are like that, then that lets me know that that actually is a really good volume and order flow combination, and I can open up the stop loss a little bit. But see, the thing is, it has to work across the board, right? Because if it doesn't work across the board, then there's just going to be times like that where I'm just going to be annoyed and I just have to take the L and it is what it is kind of thing. All right, I'm looking to sell here. If the point of control stays in the wick, this will basically be the same exact, oh, we just switched though. Never mind. Because initially it was going to be basically the same exact trade that I just took. Wasn't enough efficiency for me. But yeah, so that's just a kink that I'm trying to work out right now. Very annoying. Silver stopped me out, green at least by now. Oh, but now it's getting close to your target. That is the worst feeling ever. You haven't had grits in way too long. I wasn't a grits fan, but I think that's only because I grew up on cream of wheat. That is a very tough loss. Well, if I lose the next trade, that account's going to be gone already. That's kind of why I wanted to just do it this way. Like, let's just get it out the way if it's going to happen. Please. Please, I beg of you. 468. How interesting. Can't tell if this is gonna... Nope, it didn't. It might go, but I wanted this second. I wanted the delta percentage to be efficient as well, and it's pink instead of red. It missed it by literally 0.06%. But a lot of the times that matters. So that was efficient, but this was not. There goes the TP. At least I'm getting entries, but yeah, so that's kind of my only hang up right now. I was just writing in my notebook before I got on the stream. I kind of want to redo my analysis sheet only because I want to have a better way of indicating what levels like price hits while I'm in a trade. Because right now, like I more so want to make sure that I know whether or not, are we gonna try this? I don't know if it's gonna become efficient or not, but let's see if it does. Oh wait, now it's a trap. No, it's not. I want to more so know, like, if I'm in a sell, like, so let's say I get into this sell, right? And we hit the sell rotation level. I want to know that. I want to know if it approaches a buy or sell rotation level or the red or green levels where we change from an uptrend to a downtrend and vice versa. That's kind of what's most important to me right now. If we approach, let's say, or if it's a value area high or low, or point of control. But if it's like VWAP or the support or resistance levels, that's very easy for me to indicate on my chart. So that is something that I'm having to figure out at the moment. And I just want to just completely redo the cheat sheet that I have. So I'm probably just going to do like a couple of days of data at a time until I figure that out. Something. You know what? I'm pretty sure I'm a very slow. Oh, I can't say that. Applejack's is here. She'll get on my head. Pretty sure I'm actually a slow person. Because this. I am. I read the volume of this wrong now that I'm looking. Oh, no, I didn't. I'm lying. I read it correct. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Um, all right, we have news. And I want to look at, so this one is, oh, up here. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing I could have done here. All right, let's see what this 9 a.m. news looks like. To sit so patiently for 2 days or trade and then to get stopped out by like I can't even say I got stopped out by 6 ticks. I think it's only 3 because I'm pretty sure maybe it was 4 ticks because I'm pretty sure my stop loss is 2 ticks beyond the close of the bar. And it went 6, so got stopped out by a point just for it to go where I wanted it to go. Kind of sucks. Man, looking at my entry on the time-based chart, not this, that's the invalid one. That was such a great entry, man. Just had to get hold. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay. The crazy thing is, this was the exact combination I would be looking for if the volume hadn't exceeded the high volume in that swing. It was like just outside of validation. This is too close to a break-even level. It's a point away. That's pointless. That's a pretty big range, though. I kind of don't want to trade in here unless we're at the edges. We either need to sell off of the green level or buy off the blue level while we're in here, since we're rejecting the uptrend. The uptrend change here is being rejected. Set routine. Look how wiki the 1 minute chart is. Let me see what a 5 minute chart looks like. Okay. Good morning, Janelle. How are you this morning? Good morning. Yeah, I think I'm kind of screwed until we kind of get out of this huge range. It's about 40 points. So we'll just let it do what it's gonna do. Because right now, I don't know if I like trading in the middle of it. I don't know. I'm still trying to decide. What are the trading strat? Oh, same as always. I've been on up down tick this week, which I think I'm gonna stick with permanently because I don't think I want to do the signals, the delta signals. So I only took one trade. It was this trade right here. I literally got stopped out by like a point just for it to drop 100 ticks from my entry. So what I was saying earlier was, and I've said this from the beginning, that I like up down tick better, a little bit better because it groups more of the trades together. Um, when I when I write the trades down in the analysis sheet, anytime I have a loss like this, where like there wasn't a loss with a reversal bar before my take profit, it was a loss to stop me out by however many ticks and then drops. I do highlight it on my sheet. I'll put the L and then I'll highlight it and I'll put how many ticks it goes against. Well, more so how many ticks it goes beyond the open of the bar. Because I have been thinking about possibly needing to open up the stop loss to about halfway up the wick just to give it a little bit of room. I don't need to do like, I don't need to put the stop loss beyond the higher low of the bar. That's unnecessary. But now that I'm kind of getting a little bit more comfortable with which combinations I like and don't like, because the last 2 days have been pretty, I mean, well, the first day was like a slow grind up. Yesterday was pretty choppy. So I do like that it's keeping me out of those kind of days. I was saying earlier that like Monday, we legit did not change directions. It was an uptrend the whole hour and 15-minute session. Tuesday, it was a downtrend the whole hour and 15-minute session. I like the days where we change from an uptrend to a downtrend and, vice versa. Um, and so if I see that like, all right, these are the combinations where it has like over the last 30 to 40 trading days has a 75% win rate or more, but the losses that I do have, let's say that half of my losses are like the trade that I took earlier. Well, I wouldn't mind opening up the stop loss a little bit because that's going to help my win rate. And when I do lose, I'm still going to lose the same amounts. I'll actually end up winning more money than I lose because I've allowed myself a little bit more room on certain trades. So I just kind of have to go back. I already had plans. I think I want to start today redoing my analysis sheet because there's also like let's say we're approaching a level, let's say I get into this buy right here and we're approaching the VWAP or this support level, I'll always write that in, but there are certain levels that I want to like be specific in price hitting, and that's the buy and sell rotation levels. And the buy and sell rotation levels, the red or green levels from us changing from an uptrend to a downtrend, value area levels, or point of control. Because I know pretty much for sure every trade I've ever taken where like price hit point of control while I'm in the trade is still pushed through to the take profit if it was going to take profit, and if it was going to lose, it was going to lose. So I know that's a level that I never ever have to break even at, but I think there's other levels where I don't need to, but my current analysis sheet, I don't distinguish between levels basically. So I need to do that. So it's going to take me probably until Sunday night to kind of redo that analysis sheet, but it's needed and I want to do it, so I will. But yeah, so I haven't really changed much of anything. Just more so taking out, well, what I did do coming into Monday was I took out pretty much all of the combinations where there's not a lot of examples. And the reason why I did that is because, again, up down tick groups more trades together than bid ask does. And so if in 35, let's say 35 trading days, there's certain combinations where there's not very many examples, well, that's probably just a rare combination that shouldn't even really be taken into account really. Now it also could be that it doesn't show up as much on the higher tick charts. So it's kind of, I don't know. But what I will say is most of the time, whatever is happening on a 16 tick chart, those combinations are working on a 20, 24, even when I had to trade on a 40 tick chart, like right when Trump came in office. At the time, the whatever way I was trading at the time, it was working on a 40 tick chart as well. So I don't need to worry about that part. It's just more so I've been going back and forth between bid ask and up down tick for like the last 2 months. And I think that I finally like up down. Well, I always liked it, but I think I made the final decision to stick with it. But we'll see. I might change my mind again. No. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see. It's not gonna work. With a better insight into the trend of the market. I agree. Because basically the way that the only reason ChatGPT told me there's a possibility I needed to switch it is simply because I started using the delta signals, right? The delta sweeps and the flips and the, what else was I trading? Volume sequencing and stuff. So although I do like what the signals indicate and what they show in the market, the reality is, now I don't know if it's just like this on Renko's, because when you look at any order flow information online, they will tell you to use bid ask, whatever. Now, the majority of people who put out content all trade time-based charts. So that was one of the reasons why I even started looking at up down tick, because I'm like, I don't trade this chart type, so why would I do what everybody else is doing? That does not make sense. You get what I'm saying? So that was what made me look at up down tick to begin with. But because of the way that Renko bars paint, Renko bars are price-based bars. They only paint the way that they paint because price has ticked there, right? So it doesn't really matter who the aggressor is at all. Did price get there or not? Whether it's retail traders, whether it's the big guys pushing the market, it does not matter. Did price get there or not? That is what Renko's does, right? And so what happens, now I don't know if it's like this on time-based charts or not, but especially with Renko's and me wanting to enter the trade at the close of a bar, because what happens is if I switch this to like a 1 second chart, since I am scalping and most of the time my trades are lasting less than 20 seconds, if I change this to a 1 second or a 5 second chart, what you will see when I enter at the close of the bar is that price has broken whatever, like it's a breakout of whatever the trend is, whatever the structure is at the time, right? And so that lets me know that getting in at the close of the bar is not really a problem, because a lot of people, you know, who trade on time-based charts, they like to trade the breakouts, right? So even if it's a pullback, let's say you have this kind of pullback and you're in a downtrend, you still want to take, I know people who take the sell when we break the green candle and things like that. So I don't think that me going in at the close of the bar is the problem. I think the problem with bid ask is that you end up getting caught in like absorption. So it can look like the aggressors are being extremely aggressive. You know, let's say the delta is efficient. Let's even say that the delta percentage is efficient, but there could be some absorption in there or iceberg orders and things like that that you can get caught in, that you do not get caught in when it comes to up down ticks. So for instance, let's take this sell for example. Let's actually, no, let's not do that one. No, we can do that one. That's fine. So bid ask might show that this is not efficient, right? Let's say that there's some kind of absorption or something, and so this delta box is pink instead of red. But then when you get on up down tick, you notice like it actually was pretty aggressive and it was pretty efficient, and that actually would change the trajectory of the trade, because there are some times where you want delta to be efficient, but there's other times where you don't want it to be efficient just based on volume and order flow. So like I said, I think I'm gonna stick to it. I feel like I've had the best results from up down tick, but I kind of threw myself off a little bit when I started focusing on the delta signals. When the signals, not to say that they don't matter, but a lot of times on up down tick is going to be a signal anyway. Not all the time, like this buy right here, there was no signal, but most of the time there's going to be some kind of signal, and it's usually going to be a delta sweep. So I don't know. Not who eats breakfast. I sure don't. Shows a lot of fake out breakout conditions, especially. No, yeah, that is true. That is very true. And I think probably like subconsciously I wanted bid ask to work, because that is what all data online says to do when you're trading order flow, right? But, and again, it could just be because I'm on Renko's. It just does not seem to work very well for Renko's long term. Like if I showed you guys so when I did the analysis sheet, right, I did 2 separate packets. I did one for up down tick, one for bid ask. I went through the same exact data, right? But because sometimes on one setting, the point of control is in the wick and it's a trap, meaning, for this buy, the sellers are in control. But then on the other setting, it'll be in the body and it's a continuation. Those differences matter. Or, on one setting, delta is efficient, one it's not. There's like huge differences. So what happens is up down tick will group more trades together for the same delta efficiency and things like that, because that's the only thing that changes is where the wick is, where the point of control is, and then the type of point of control. Is it a trap or a continuation? And then the delta efficiency. Those are like the 2 variables between the two, because the only other thing that I look at is the volume of the swings. That doesn't change based on order flow settings, so that's constant. And then when I compare the volume of my entry bar to the highest volume in the swing to see how much of an effort is being put in to this attempt at a reversal in the market, that's static. That does not change. Volume of the bar does not change based on order flow settings. So that's the only thing that changes, are those 2 things. And that makes a world of a difference in my analysis sheet. So that's why coming into this week, I was like, you know what, let's go back to up down tick. I think we're going to stay here permanently. I think the biggest thing right now, after I redo the analysis sheet with the same data, just fixing a couple of things, I think the biggest thing for me right now is figuring out if I want to keep my Renko size static, or if I do want it to be dynamic, what am I going to base it off of? Before I was basing it off of the VIX, but that's not, I don't like that. I think what I'm going to have to do is base it possibly off of like either the opening minute of the market being open, like maybe the range of it based on how many points the open candle is or something like that. I don't know, but I have to figure out what is going to tell me when there's a high chance of the market being choppy versus not. And that's what I'm struggling the most with right now, is that. Good morning, Timbo. How are you this morning? I'm good. How are you? You're not trading this NQBS today? You're not in the mood. I feel that. Are you trading another instrument? Janelle, yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you the last time I ate 3 times a day. Well, I did try it for a brief moment earlier this year and I did not like it. I felt like my digestion was completely off and I just felt full all the time and I did not like I don't like feeling full all the time at all. I do not like that at all. Oh yeah, the other thing I'm gonna have to do is figure out how I want to trade inside the zone. Because I mean this is technically like a consolidation zone, technically. So I don't really know how I want to trade inside of it. Before I would take trades as long as the entry bar was attached to a level. Then it was only trade if the entry bar is attached to the bottom or the top, which is normally how you would trade a range. So you can see the range a little bit better now that I switched this to a 5-minute chart versus the 1-minute chart since we've been in the range for so long. But I'm not sure if I have to keep those rules or not, if I'm being quite honest. So that's the only other thing that I'm really looking at. Because I think that's really the only other thing that really matters. For real, for real. You're protesting the market this morning. I'm weak. What time-based chart do you trade off of? 5-minute? Although the 1-minute chart does look pretty ugly though still. If I'm being honest. It didn't look so bad at first, but it's definitely just kind of hanging out. I feel like ever since I had the trade here, so it was really choppy. This was the trade I got stopped out by 1 point just for it to drop like 100 something ticks. And then ever since we kind of pushed back up off of the VWAP, it's just been kind of like a whole bunch of nothing. Pretty much. I mean, even looking at the ATR. So this ATR just shows me the number of points in each bar. I don't have it like on an average of the last 14 bars or anything like that. So the ATR is really, really low even for this to be a 1-minute chart. The ATR is pretty low. It's been kind of like below 15 points. And that's kind of why I want to figure out how to determine my Renko size when I get on the charts. Because, okay, think about it like this. Most of my trades, again, last less than 20 seconds, right? Boom. Well, if the ATR is only about 15, actually, okay, let's say, because that's kind of a higher, let's say 12 points on average of these 1-minute bars. That's not really that great considering for a reversal bar to happen for me, that's 40 ticks right there. So you're talking about it, and I need 10 points just to reverse the market. But then I'm asking for another 20 something ticks on top of that. So let's just say I need 60, I think it's 63 ticks in order to go from the very bottom of this swing to go to my TP. That's about 15 points that I'm looking for. And a 1-minute bar is not even that. So that lets me know that my bar size is a little too big. But right now, again, I don't know what I want to base it off of. I don't know. Because honestly, I thought we would have a little bit better movement today considering the value area was so large today. because the last 2 days when I got on the charts right after market open, I could see the value area high, low, and the point of control all in a small screen the last 2 days. So I thought we would have a little bit more volatility and movement today, but alas, we did not. Today is garbage. Yeah, it's not that great, that's for sure. Maybe if we can break out. Maybe, just maybe. So yeah, that's really what I have to figure out right there. 882. The point of control is literally at the open of the bar. I hate when it does that. It signifies a neutral bar, kind of. Couldn't take that. If it was just one tick lower, the point of control is one tick lower, I'd be in the trader now. Taking a buy off the bottom of the range. Just one tick lower. What a hoot. Damn. I was waiting for that. Waiting for it very patiently. And the crazy thing is, the price level right below the open of the bar, so the first price level in the wick, only needed two more trades at that level to take the point of control back over. How annoying. How annoying. I mean, that was a perfect push off the bottom of the range. We just went up 66 ticks from the entry, so we went up about 100 ticks from the bottom. Man, just a great push off the bottom. That is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so I know the number of ticks. So the number that's on the swing right here, that's always to the right of the price, that's the number of bars. But remember, because I'm on a 2-tick threshold, every bar is 2 ticks. So if I multiply it by 2, right? But it starts from the close of the bar. So if there's 40 ticks from the bottom to the top of the entry bar, plus the 80 something ticks here, that's 120 ticks. From the bottom. And then you could see, so 95 was the bottom, the top was 24. So there's the 30 points from bottom to top there. I'm not really the most surprised at, well, I kind of am. I'm more so surprised that like we don't have enough strength to really push through levels the last couple of days. Like we've been chopping between levels all 3 days today. Even looking here, we got the overnight low, the current open, the prior close, support level, and I think that's the major. Is that the major support level? Yeah, it's the major support level. And then we have VWAP. We've literally only been between these levels. I mean, I don't really count the open candle, since the open candle can push through whatever. But we've legit just been kind of stuck in this range where these few levels are. And I mean, technically there's 2 VWAP levels here. We've just been kind of bouncing back and forth between them. Which the lower VWAP level that we've bounced off of, that's around 793, and the overnight low is at 846. So you're talking about a 50-point range since the market opened. How ass is that? Very ass. Very ass. But I'm definitely gonna look back at my data today because, like I said, I think I don't have to worry about trading inside the range, but I'm not completely sure. That's why I'm just being cautious with it. But I haven't seen anything that I like anyway, besides almost this trade. It's just the point of control is in the wrong spot. One price level above where it needed to be. Yeah, it's just been kind of just chopping, really. And this is technically kind of like on a 5-minute chart at least. It's kind of like a slow grind down, kind of, to be honest. We created the new low. We had the pullback. We attempted to break. We had another pullback. That pullback did not break the high of this swing. And we've just kind of been slowly moving down. I just will say that one stop out was pretty annoying. So if I do move my stop loss, let's see. I'll be risking 30 ticks to make 22, which I'm not really that happy about. It's like a 0.73 risk to reward ratio. So I'd basically be risking $1 to make 73 cents, which is not the worst of the worst. Let's see. So that means that wait, what? That's not true. Hold on. So my win rate needs to be at least 58% to break even. Well, that happened fast. Let's see. Yeah, 58%, which I don't think is the problem, especially if I'm opening up my stop loss, which will increase the win rate for those particular trades. That also could open up the door, because I don't really want to go past like halfway through the wick. I don't want to do that, and I definitely don't want a 2-to-1. That actually also might open up the door for me to include more volume and order flow combinations, possibly. So that might be something that I look into. I don't know. All right, let me show you guys the account so I can journal and get the hell on with my life. Kind of start this process of redoing the analysis sheets. 194. All right, let's see. Here we are. Only account that's not included is the one that's like $700 or $800 from passing. So account 3159, I still have 2 more trading days left on it before it renews. I kind of probably would just rather fail it and start from scratch, because the process of trying to make $4,300 in 2 days might actually drive me crazy. So just know that that's probably what I'm going to do, even though I don't really want to pay for this account again, but it is what it is. And then $17.99, I still have about $1,300 in drawdown left. Yeah, today, I mean, wasn't the best price action, but I mean, technically speaking, the one, because I did take 2 trades. One of them I manually broke even because it invalidated itself right before the close of the bar. But technically, I mean, the one trade that I did take, it worked out. It pushed down 80 ticks, I think, from my entry. It's just I got stopped out by a point first. So yeah, I'm okay with today. I as much as it's annoying, I can kind of live with that. I'm cool with that. So I don't know. We'll see. But I thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like the video on your way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.